As you know, we're here at the launch of Vincey Keehan's new album, Great Highway. And as we all hear you say a long time, it's been a long time coming. But anyways, my name is Joe Keehan. I'm brother of Vincey, younger brother, and Vincey is the second of 6 siblings. Ciaran, our oldest brother, has died, passed away a few years ago. Vincey is second. I'm third. Mary, Bridget, and John. So I go back, I suppose, to the start when we went to school. Myself and Vincey, as we call him, we were in the same class going to school. And the good thing, as far as for me, about being the younger of the brothers, for 14 years we went to school, and I copied his homework every single night. And signs on, you see what I got. But anyways, I suppose the thing about Vincey was he always had a great love for music. And coupled with that love, I think, became his not love for farming. And when he was about 12 or 13 years of age, or maybe 14 or 15, he decided to buy a mandolin. And it was for them 2 reasons. One, he probably wouldn't have to do any farming and he would be playing music. And I think, in fairness to him, before that, we used to ramble around a lot to see the likes of Christy Moore and Paul Brady and all the guys that were playing around at that time. And he had a great love for it, and he tried to, as they say, marry with his work. He was qualified as a carpenter, and he worked as a carpenter for many years around South Galway, and worked for Paddy Egan. Some of his family are here. And then, when he was probably about 21 or 2, he got kind of sick of it, and he said it's time to head for the hills and to leave home. And in fairness to him, he didn't say, I went to Gort, or I went on to Alden or someone. He said, I go to America. And he picked Washington, D.C. as his base. And he went to Washington to another friend of ours who we haven't seen for 40 years tonight, but he's here, and I'll tell you why he's here in a minute. But anyways, he left Ireland and he went to Washington, D.C. And he had no instrument after spending a while learning his instruments here. So he saw a guitar for sale. And he asked his friend, would he give him some money to buy the guitar? And fair play to his friend, he gave it him. But the unfortunate thing about it was he never gave it back. And I was going down the street of Gort yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, and I met this guy. I hadn't seen him for a long, long time. And I said, oh, Jerry, what are you doing here? And he said, your brother Vincent, he said, is going playing up in the Lady Gregory on Wednesday night, he said. And I gave him the loan, as they say in America, $400 to buy a guitar. And then what made it worse was this guy's a bit of a mathematician. He said, $400 plus 41 years of interest at 6%. So, Vincey, I'm afraid the £4 you made tonight is gone. Anyways, this is the story that I'm being told. I'm not so sure how it was, but he left. He after 2 years in DC, he decided to go west, as they say, of the Rocky Mountains. He headed for San Francisco. And I suppose, in a way, it was probably one of the best things he ever did. He immersed himself in the Irish music out there. He met a lot of musicians, and some of them are here tonight, quite a few of them actually, and I'm going back 40 years. And he also used to play in a lot of Irish clubs and pubs there. And one lucky thing happened in the middle of all that. He met a girl from New Jersey. I think the song was called after the Jersey girl. And her name is Missy. And a few years later, they got married. And as they say, the rest is history. And coupled with Vincey's love for Irish music was his love for the GA. He always loved the GA. And every Saturday or Sunday, he'd always ring me about the matches. Even though I was living in Alden, and I should know a bit more about the games than he did. And the curious thing about that was, I used to referee for a number of years. And he'd ring me when I'd be on the way home. And he could tell me more about the match that I refereed than I knew. And as my family say, well, we know the reason for that. But he still has maintained that great love for Ireland. He's lived in America over 40 years, as I said, but his great love for Ireland, his love of the music, I suppose, is unsurpassed, and his love of the GA and his parish bear. So to get the ball rolling tonight, we're very lucky to have two great musicians here. The first one is Paddy Egan from Parkbridge in County Wicklow. Paddy has been a friend of our family for a long, long time. In fact, so long, I think he must have been coming to the house when he was about 3, playing the concertina. And Paddy is a great supporter of the Cooley Collins Festival. He comes to the Cooley Collins Festival year in, year out, all the time. And it was great. He was here this week, and he went to London, and he's back here tonight to play. So we're very privileged to have Paddy here. Paddy worked in England for a while, and I was over with a great friend of mine last week called Des Mulcair, and I brought Paddy over. And Paddy was telling him I was working in England, and Des Mulcair said, "And Paddy, and he said, and what were you doing in England?" To which Paddy replied, and I knew the answer, "I was drinking porter and playing music," he said. But anyways, there was a bit more to Paddy than drinking porter and playing music. He went to America, where he studied, and he now lives in County Cork with his wife Nicola, and they have a lovely little baby about probably 2 months old, a grand little kid, and he lectures in UCC in Cork, so he's doing pretty good for himself. So Paddy Egan is going to be playing alongside John Keehan. John Keehan is the youngest member of the Keehan family. And as you all know, if you're the youngest member of a family, you're mainly very spoiled. And John is no different to anyone else. Years ago, when we were very small, my mother bought me a shovel and a hack and a spade and a few other implements, not very nice implements you work out on the farm. But of course, she bought John a fiddle. And in fairness to him, it was probably a better buy than what she was buying for me, because he's still playing the fiddle with great gusto. John released an album called The Humours of Scariff, which was released last year. And he now resides in Scariff in County Clare. And it's fairly fair to say that if you've made it as a fiddle player in East Clare, it's nearly worth a PhD. So I think that's fair play to him. And Paddy Egan also released an album called Tubber Gun Thraw, and both albums were released in the last year. Brilliant albums, both of them, and well worth listening to. So a big round of applause from Parkbridge in County Wicklow, Paddy Egan, and from Foxdale Hill in County Galway, John Keehan. And they're going to be joined tonight, I didn't notice recently, by a man called Ian Barcombe from Sussex, is it? Somerset, sorry. Jeez, I got it wrong already. Somerset. So we'll let them at it, lads. Best of luck and enjoy the night. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the launch. I suppose first and foremost I want to congratulate Vincey on the launch of this long-awaited album. Very reflects, I suppose, a lot on his earlier years in South Galway. Tis fitting that it's called The Great Highway, because Vincey's love of music, I say, might have started with another highway, the highway in Crusheen back in the early 70s, when Joe Galligan was the proprietor there, and we heard all the greats, Matt Malloy, Frankie Gavin, Paul Brady, Christy Moore, Noel Hill, Tony Linnane, all of them play there on a Tuesday night, and I was lucky enough that they brought me along sometimes to hear the music. So as Joseph said, Paddy and myself released albums there in the last couple of years, so we're going to play a few selections from that tonight. And we're joined by Ian Bascom, who lives in the Burren, and a fine player. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get it going there, okay? Thanks very much. We'll follow on there with a tune I composed in memory of a young neighbour of mine, Barry Nash, who died tragically back in 2014 in a car accident. So the tune is called Lament for Barry. I'll let Paddy introduce the next set. It's from his CD called Tubbergun Thrawn.
I'm kind of mic strapped here second, but first one is Támach Fannacht Ort. Second one is a tune I got from the great playing of Finbar Dwyer when I was in London, transposed up into E minor for those who play it. And the last one then is Molly on the Shore, which was a great tune composed way back in the tradition, but Ed Reevy, the great fiddler who lived in Pennsylvania, out in America, he threw his version onto it. And it's said that is one of the greatest of Ed Reevy's compositions, the way that he turned the tune. So there's extra parts put into it. So I hope you'd enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely. I recommend you to buy that LP. It's a very good LP. We'll keep going there. The next one is a hornpipe I wrote in memory of my niece, Eamonn Noonan, Mary's daughter. You've probably heard it, I'm sure, previously. And the second one is Charlie Mulvihill's. Yeah. Thanks very much. So we're going to finish off our set here this evening and let Paddy introduce the last set again.
Yeah, the last set now is, the first one is the Iron Man, which was a great tune that was played by very good friend of Vincey's actually, Tommy Peoples. He used to play that. I got it from his record, actually called the Iron Man as well. A great fiddler he was in Donegal. And the second one is a tune called Keeper Hill that I found in the O'Neill's 1001 Gems one time. And of course, whenever you find a traditional tune, you find it somewhere else as well. So I found it out in the Library of Congress one day, and it's actually played in the Appalachian Mountains as well, under George Booker. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Thanks very much. Thank
you. 1 second. I've been asked specifically to ask this question. Has Joe Keehan ever played a musical instrument? And I'm definitely looking to find out the answer to that one.
Paddy, this is supposed to be a jovial night and not a sad night. And the story of Rosie Keehan's music, I'm afraid, is sad. But I'll tell you anyway. About 10 years ago, I acquired a banjo. And just as well, I didn't give much for it. So I took a good few lessons in the banjo. And for a while, I thought I was getting quite good at it. And I used to be listening to Jason Mulcair and some of the great banjo players, and I actually thought I was nearly as good as them. But one fateful day, a great friend of mine, he was until that moment, called Pat O'Donnell. I think he's here. I told him not to let him in, but he might be here. Pat came to the house, along with my other former good friend, Paddy Egan. And they asked me would I play a tune in the banjo. And because I took out my banjo and I tuned it up, and I played me a few tunes. And I said to Pat O'Donnell, how did that sound? Pat O'Donnell replied with, oh. And Paddy Egan grunt was worse. But we'd fast forward anyway about 2 months, and the Cory Collins Festival was on here in Gort. And the boys came down to play at Cory Collins. And on a Saturday night, Pat O'Donnell rang me and he said, "Are you coming into Henry's tonight, Josie?" And I was kind of wondering why he asked me, because normally I go in anyway. So I went in. And the who's who of traditional music was playing at Henry's that night, including my 2 bios. And you know the way in the trad says, they're going at their very best in this job for some reason. I don't know what that reason is for. But they stopped anyway. And Pat O'Donnell stood up in a stool. And with his lovely, soft San Francisco accent, he asked the crowd to be quiet. If I asked them, of course, they pay no heed. But when the little California boy asked them, no, they were quiet. He says, "I have an announcement to make," he said. "I have an award to give to Rosie Keehan." That being me. I shoved out my chest. I said, "My God, this must be good." And all I could think of in my moment of madness was the Oscars. Do you ever watch the Oscars? Do you know when someone gets an award at the Oscars, they start bawling, crying? Well, I was about to do a bit of bawling, crying, and thank about 45 generations of my family. But alas, my little dream came to a sudden end. Paddy got up anyway, and he says to Paddy Egan, Paddy said, "Will you take over that award there?" And Paddy Egan took out this massive big thing. He said, "The award," he said, "I'm going to present this to Rosie Keehan, a very accomplished award, for being the worst banjo player." Wait till you hear the rest of it. "In the world." So, that set me off fairly quick. So I went up, and you know, at the awards, when the guy goes up for the award, he whispers something into the guy's ear. You never have an idea what he says. So I said, I do that bit, there's no point crying. So I says, "Is that true?" "Yeah," he said. So at that, lads, we're going to take a break for about 10 minutes, and we'll have Vincey and crew on afterwards. So 10 minutes, folks, and we'll be back. We'll be back again. All right. Would you take your seats, please, and we'll see where we get going. Or some of these musicians might go home. Next on the stage. Are you ready to sit down? We get going. Next up on stage, we're going to have Vincey's son, Michael Keehan. And in a music household, I suppose he had very little chance only to pick up a guitar or something. Mind you, he didn't have to do it because of farming or anything like that. He just probably did it for the love of it. Michael had played quite a while down in Los Angeles and places like that with his Behead t-shirt on him, and maybe now and again a Galway one. So he kept the flag flying for us down there. And recently he actually, believe it or not, he got engaged. Now, I did ask him, when was the wedding? I said, "I have an old suit at home down in the press, I might want to root it out." He said, "You bring it in there to Keehan Cleaners and they'll solve it for you." So, Mike, I'll hand you over now to Michael. He's going to be the man for the rest of the night. So, best of luck, Mike, and the best of luck to the band. All around this year, so. And I hope you enjoy the night. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Rosie. And thanks to John and Paddy for doing that opening set. It was brilliant. Do we have anything on this guitar here? There it is. All right, I have a couple of originals and then another one I want to play, so get it started. I guess I'll stick with what I know. Unshakable afterglow. I'm standing at your doorway. I'm covered in my sin. I'm begging for forgiveness as the flames are closing in. I'm burning on down, just burning on down. I'm burning on down, whoa, whoa. I'm burning on down, down, down. Well, the lights are getting low now. Foundation's at its core. Only words found in the ashes, 'cause you don't live here anymore. Well, I'm standing at your doorway. I'm covered in my sin. I'm begging for forgiveness as the flames are closing in. Well, I'm burning on down, just burning on down. Well, I'm burning on down, whoa, whoa. I'm burning on down, just burning on down. I'm burning on down, I'm burning on down, whoa, whoa. I'm burning on down, going down, down. Well, I'm standing at your doorway. I'm covered in my sin. I'm begging for forgiveness as the flames are closing in. I'm burning on down, just burning on down. Oh, I'm burning on down, whoa, whoa. I'm burning on down, just burning on down. I'm burning on down, I'm burning on down, whoa, whoa. I'm burning on down, I'm going down, down. Thank you. This mic close. All right, have Eileen come up and help me out with this one here, if you will. This next song I learned, or the version I know anyway, it's from Sean Terrell, who was a great friend and musician. Lovely man altogether. We lost him just over a year ago, a few days back. So I wanted to do this one. was the night in harvest time. I crossed the orchard wall. The moon was bright and the apples ripe. On the ground they'd fall. So we fill our sacks as we made our way back. Our adventure still to find. The orchard neath the cover in that sweet Dungarvan time. Well, I crossed the orchard wall again. I was just 13. It was, I think, to be my first drink. Cider and poutine. Since I remember it well, for it tasted like hell. And I hoped that the pain would end soon. In the orchard, neath the cover, that sweet Dungarvan. I was 19 years of age. I crossed the wall with pride. My Annie fair with the nut brown hair was walking by my side. Well, our clothes came off and we tumbled and talked. All innocence, it was gone. In the orchard, neath the cover, in that sweet Dungarvan dawn. I was 21 years old. I married Annie there. The apple blossoms in the trees looked better in her hair. Oh, and when the day was over, was a drum for every tree. In the orchard, neath the cover, at sweet Dungarvan sea. Now I'm 45, I'm much alive. Children I have 4. 3 girls and 1 fine strapping son. I have hopes for more. Well, I'll tell them of what lies ahead. I've plenty to learn still. In the orchard, neath the cover, and sweet Dungarvan hill. Now I'm 91, my days are near done. My Annie's long since gone. But our days, they were good, and as well they should. But it's time that I passed on. Oh, and when I die, I want to lie beneath those whispering trees. In the orchard, beneath the cover, in that sweet Dungarvan breeze. Oh, and when I die, I want to lie the air land find a sweet Dungarvan home. Thank you. I have one more before we get to the main show. One I wrote a long time ago, so see if I can remember all the words.
But you chose another man.
heart is cold and black. 'Cause maybe one day you will miss me. Just know I'm never coming back. Oh, yes, I'm leaving you. And I know exactly why. All of my love was true. Love was nothing but a lie. Oh, yes, I'm leaving you. I don't know why. All of my love was true. Love was nothing but a lie. I'm leaving you. I don't know why. Though my love's still true, it's time I say goodbye. Thank you. All right. Well, let's keep it going for the man of the hour, my father, Vince Keehan, and the rest of the crew, Alden. We're doing the full album tonight, The Great Highway. It's been a long time coming.
Big crew up here. Please turn down the Mando in the monitors.
So it's great to see everybody here.
Check one.
So many old friends of mine around the place. And a few new ones too, it looks like. Yeah, great turnout tonight. Thanks so much. And we're going to play the whole album of a bunch of songs I've written over about 30 years, I suppose, really. And some of them are more recent, came from a year or two ago. More of them are going way back. And the first one we're going to do is called The Classic, named after the classic ballroom, which was like 100 yards from here. And we used to come in there pretty much every Sunday night for a long time. And I got mine, yeah. Oh no, I don't know, yeah. Yeah, it's off. Yeah. So anyway, we'd go to the classic, and the things about the classic was that either you had to be a good dancer, or you had to talk a good game. And neither I was very good at. So it wasn't a recipe for success at the classic. But anyway, in 1978 I went down to Listonvarna to the first folk festival they had. And Michael Russell came out on the stage playing a tin whistle. And there was this beautiful girl from Europe. Did a bit of fairy dancing behind him. And I said, that's the life for me.
come up on the stage and jive all the rage. Getting for me was hard to do. Flying across the ocean and the plain. Time to leave and get away from the rain. All the time it's very hot. The Big Apple is the spot. No one here is on the gravy train. And all the time I spent with you, waltzing around the classic 2x2. We come up on stage and jive all the rage. It for me was hard to do.
Thank you. Anyone who spent a frustrating night in the classic, like I did many myself, especially for the Keehan sisters there, they were.
Doesn't sound like you had any fun there at all. This is such a good song.
So the next one that I'm going to have a shot at here. This one came about as a result of a photograph that was given to me by a cousin of mine, Patricia Kilcoley from England. And on the photograph, it was my grandparents, John and Ann Hembury, and my brother Seamus, the Lord bless him, passed away a couple of years ago, and myself. And it was taken in 1964. And I was kind of thinking, like, how did we get from being on the horse and trap to now we're on Twitter? So this one is called Going Down the Road. It's kind of a bit of a bluegrass vibe to it, because I was thinking at the time, I had never actually heard country music before that, because we didn't have a radio at home. And my grandparents had one of those ones where you had 2 batteries and you had to take them to town to be charged. And that's how we got to town every Friday, in the horse and trap. And it used to be tied up down there below at the back of where Michael Hindley's pub is now. It used to be called Cairns's back then. And they'd leave the horses there, tune the cud all day, when they were buying the messages. And the messages, as you know around here, are not the same thing as you get on Facebook. They're different. So anyway, this one is called Going Down the Road. And my buddy from Fermanagh here is going to be featured in the mandolin on this one. He's going to cut loose.
Matt, can we actually have a bit more mandolin in this back monitor?
Anytime you're thinking about the road, you call me thinking about the road. Anytime you're thinking of going down the road, you call me anytime you're thinking of going back. You call me anytime you're thinking of going back. Anytime you're thinking of going down the track, you call me anytime you're thinking of going back. There's the place I'll back there, a place that well. Up in the hills and mountains where Mama used to dwell, where the sun is shining all the time, the trees look well. That's the place I think about when day comes to an end. There's the river running softly at the bottom of the hill, where the trout and pike are jumping and the tall trees all stood still. There's the clearance in the distance where sits the Sally tree. You can hear the woodcock crowing and the humming of the bee. Standing, waiting by the door. Grandma's in the kitchen and there's bullet on the floor. With his horse trapped neatly, he's heading into town. I'd sit up there beside him like a king without a crown. The neighbours all would gather as we went on our way. Bring a half quart of tobacco, quarter pound of tea. His mare would gallop freely as she went down the hill. Oh, those were days from long ago, but I can see them still. Somewhere in the distance I see it every day. Somewhere in the distance I see it every day. I see it in the distance, it's all far away. Someday soon I'm going there, I'm going there to stay. Anytime you're thinking about the road, you call me anytime you're thinking about the road. You call me anytime you're thinking about the road. Anytime you're thinking of going down the road. Anytime you're thinking.
Hello, Matt. Could we please test drive this fiddle?
Thank you very much. This next song I'm going to do, I wrote it there about 1.5 years ago, and it was for my sister Mary Noonan and Flann Noonan after they lost their beautiful daughter Eamonn, and she died tragically in a jogging accident out in France. And Mary was telling me that the only solace that she could find after losing her beautiful daughter was that she would walk for hours and hours through the woods around Lochraney Lake up in Carr, not far from here. And I was thinking about that, and this song is called the lovely woodlands of Clare. Thank you. Where are you now, my friend, the old ash tree? I told you all my secrets, what I grow up to be. I'll wander down to where the daisies and the primrose grow. That's a place I used to go, and you'd find me there in the lovely woodlands of Clare. Oh, the morning sun is breaking, like rainy shores waking to the day I stood on the pier. I saw your auburn hair. Was it just a dream, or did I find you there in the lovely woodlands of Clare? Oh, the autumn now is here, the leaves have turned to brown, a rainbow fills the sky, where the streams come rushing down. A pheasant rises from her knell and meanders through the air. A feather floats on down in the lovely woodlands of Clare. The snow is on the ground, the sheep are on the hill, a fox tracks from the west, everything is still. The clouds are hanging low, at dawn you'll find me there. My mind is now at ease in the lovely woodlands of Clare. Thank you.
Everyone's favorite song.
That's the worst thing about these kind of instruments. They're great for playing in the kitchen at home, but you have to tune them up and mess around with them a lot. As my buddy down there, Coley Moran, once said to me, they're a pure misfortune, he said. better get going here before it gets wrong on me again. This song I'm going to do this time, in 1984, there was a world title fight took place in Madison Square Garden in New York. And the champion at the time was a fella from Jamaica by the name of Mick McCollum. And he had held the title for many years. He was a great fighter. But on that particular night, the challenger was a fella by the name of Sean Mannion, who came out of Rossmoke in Connemara. And up to that point, he certainly wasn't well known in Ireland. And he wasn't too well known in America either. But he was after knocking out a bunch of contenders along the way. And he got his crack at the title. He didn't win the fight. And he kind of went into a bit of a tailspin afterwards. And kind of ended up having a bit of a drink problem and things like that. But he kind of redeemed himself as well. He was invited back to Galway. And where gave him an award for being the Boxer of the Year. And there was a bunch of bonfires lit all along the way. The first one, I believe, started here in Gort. I think there's Paddy Grealish, who was also from Rossmoke, had something to do with it. Anyway, I went to see this guy fighting twice in California, in a place called Stockton. So I thought that he was a kind of a forgotten guy, in my opinion. But there was a documentary on TG Cahir called Rocky Rossmoke, which is well worth seeing, about Sean Mannion. Anyway, I wrote this song about him there a few years ago.
Now I'm on my feet. Took the road out to Spittle, out to Cairn and Rossmoke. Speak the language of our father, that the stranger never took. In the old school by the churchyard, there I learned my stock and trade. Traded punches with the hard men. It's of this the dreams were made. Rise up now, Rossmoke hero. You are fighting for the West. Sing the songs of Connemara. On your day you were the best. On the long flight out to Boston, on the air of '79, with a burning ambition that the title would be mine. Pouring concrete every morning, and in Connolly's gym at night, sparring with the local gangster, getting ready for tomorrow. I beat every known contender that came from shore to shore. title in the garden. Oh, the champion wanted more. Rise up now, Ross hero. You are fighting for the world. Sing the songs of Connemara. On your day you were the best. For my friends back in Southie, I was sickened by the love, and I fell into her drinking, and I didn't give it up. One day you are a hero, high upon the way. When you're down, you still discover of what your friends are made. Rise up now, Ross hero. You will fight for the way. The songs of Connemara. On your day you were the best. So I headed back to Galway. I was still with Turn's fear to be treated like a champion, the boxer of the air. Rise up now, Ross hero. You were fighting for the world. Sing the songs of Connemara. On your day you were the touched down in Shannon, very much to my surprise, to be greeted by my neighbour brought a tear to my eye. Look like all of Connemara at the flame, and the bonfires fill the night sky, for to see me home again. Rise up now, Ross hero. Fighting for the world. Sing the songs of Connemara. On your day you were the best. On your day you were the best. On your day you were the best. On your day you were the best.
Thank you, thank you. This time we're going to ask Rosie Keehan to come up and do a song. And this song is one that I wrote a long, long time ago, about 25 years ago, I'd say probably. And it's a song about a girl that fell into bad times in London and was taken advantage of too. So it's an old story. I actually heard the story from a fella in a pub in New York, and this is loosely based on what he told me. And anyway, it's called Work in the Streets, and Rosie's going to sing it for us here.
I wanted to say also, for a long time this song was kind of lost because nobody sang it. It's a song written for a woman from a woman's perspective, so Dad didn't sing it until about 10 years ago or so. The very talented Ciaran, who's here, started singing it, and she recorded it, and that's how I learned it, because when I asked my dad for the words to the song, he said he didn't know them. So thank you, Anne, for that. I'm no Ciaran, but it's one of my favorites, so hope you enjoy it. When I was just 16 years old, I headed away across the foam. My father, he took to the booze. There was always trouble at home. I landed in London, Soho, without a penny or a place to go. When who did I chance for to meet but a gentleman dapper and neat? He offered me a place for to stay and a job that would give me good pay. Oh, but little was I then to know I would work in a bordello. Oh, don't tell me, Ma, when you go, when you're in the county Mayo, and to all of the neighbors you meet, don't tell them I'm working the street. He advanced me my first 3 weeks' pay, and I took it and blew it away. He said I would waitress by night. When I got there, I was in for a fright. Oh, don't tell me, Mom, when you're in the county Mayo, and to all of the neighbors you meet, don't tell them I'm working the street. If you ever go down to Soho and you're looking for a place to go, and you see me out there on the street, just pretend that we never did meet. Oh, don't tell me, Ma, when you go, when you're in the county Mayo, and all the neighbors you meet, don't tell them I'm working the street. Please don't tell them I'm working the street.
Rosie Keehan.
Rosie Keehan, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from California. Okay, I lost my position in the game. So we're going to play a couple of tunes. Paddy Egan and John are going to come back up and join us for these couple. The first tune is called The Blackbird. It's a set dance, and the reason that we put this on the record, well, actually both tunes, the reason we put them on it was that my father used to love to go set dancing, and he used to be down here down the street at Luke Kelly's pretty much every Sunday night. My mother used to like to go too, but he would particularly enjoy set dancing. And of course, he forgot to pass any of it on to his kids. And one of us have, as he used to say, a step in our head. So anyway, he'd arrive home and he might have a few pints drank, and he'd be whistling the Blackbird. It was like that kind of thing.
Can we get the two mics and the concertina for this if you don't mind, please? Yes, will you set them up then?
Yeah. So, bit of setting up to be done here. The second tune we're going to play is called Mrs. Crotty's Reel. And that was also a major favourite of my father's. He would ask John here to play it, or my sister Mary was playing the concertina back then as well. And it was almost like there was only one tune existed. That's the one he wanted to hear. And I think we got it from an old recording by the Chieftains at the time. It was back in, I don't know, the mid-70s, I would say, anyway, around that time. And, well, maybe was it later? What did you do in the mid-70s, John? John was under 12.
I was 2.
Anyway, we're going to give it a shot here. Okay, Paddy, off you go. Thanks very much. This time we're going to do a song called Slow Train. And this song was kind of inspired by a time I was thinking of when we were small kids, really. And in 1964 or 65, the television came to rural Ireland where we lived. And the only person in our village who had a television was Mrs. Healy, who lived next door to us. And we used to go down every Monday night to watch the Virginian. And there was ourselves and the Divneys, and maybe the other Divneys and the Divneys next to them as well. That's who lived in our village up there in Foxdale Hill. And the thing about the Virginian, as kids, we usually preferred if there was a bit of hanging or a bit of shooting in it. We weren't all that mad about the romantic ones, but now and again they'd throw them in there, all right. And this one, the song is kind of based on one of these fellas, these mysterious characters, would arrive back in town. He'd been gone for a while, and his girlfriend would be there waiting for him, but inevitably he'd take off again at the end of it. And that was maybe once a month, something similar to that. They didn't change the plot around all that much. They were all fairly similar enough. But anyway, I was thinking that I should try my hand at writing some kind of a country song, but as it turned out, it's not a country song at all. So anyway, it's called Slow Train, and she held out her hand when he walked through the door. He said, I thought you might stay. Looked at the clock, it was 5 in the morning. He said, I've been too long away. But I was lost being free as you can. Beauty was lost when I stayed. Everything's gone but the frame on the wall, a reminder of Paddy Egan. There's always a train rolling down the track to take you to some distant place. When you get on, there's a part of me gone like the slow moving train. But I was lost being free as you can. Beauty was lost when I stayed. Everything's gone but the frame after all of this time. Like a fool I fell for your tale, just like the last and the time before that. I hope they all were good, but I was lost being free as the rain. Beauty was lost and I stayed. Everything's gone but the frame on the wall, a reminder of happy days. Oh, the years roll on and the time has passed by. Some things never do change. You come back again like a bad gust of wind and take the blood out of my face. But I was lost being free as you can. Beauty was lost in a say. Everything's gone but the frame on the wall, a reminder of happy days. This time, there's a few flares going on back behind me here, a few midgets. This time I'm going to ask Mary Noonan to come up and do a song for us.
Matt, will you put more of my vocal right here? She'll sing on this one, just put it in there.
This song, I wrote this song after we took a trip down to Argentina with the band The Gasmen. And there's three of us here tonight, four of us actually. Kyle here, Kenny and Cormac back there as well. And we met up with a bunch of Argentinian musicians. And we had a great old time with them down there. And they were playing pipes and fiddles and banjos and everything like that. Most of them didn't speak English, or some of them did, but most of them did not. And we had a very unusual occurrence. We met up with an old woman who was 90 years old by the name of Mrs. Kelly. And she still spoke with an Irish accent, even though the famine had been, I don't know, a couple of 100 years before that. The family kept the accent up all the time. And it was a...
Like yourself, Vincey.
It was a brilliant thing. So Mary is going to sing it. The song is called Argentina.
Give it a try, sis.
Hello? Yeah, okay. Okay, just before I start, I just, first of all, like to thank so many of you for coming out on such a desperately bad night. And secondly, it's an honour for me to be part of Vincey's great highway, his great journey, and to share the stage with John and Joseph, sure. And Bridget got away scot-free, Vincey, did you notice that? Anyway, I'm going to dedicate this song, even though there's zero connection between the song and what I'm going to say, to two Patricias. And they're the two Patricias that keep Vincey's boat floating. One of them is Vincey's wife, Patricia, known to the rest of us as Missy. Of course, she's his muse, and she's his great encourager, and she really believed in him all the way. And the other Patricia keeps a different boat floating. That's Patricia Keehan, our next door neighbour, who is also keeping the Californian fires burning while we're in Gort and keeping the business going. So for the two Patricias, okay. Far across the town of Mullingar, the famine gives no ease. From the villages, the most are gone, they have died or gone away. There's a boat leaving Cove next week, and on it I will be. 3 weeks we spent on board that boat, sailing in a ship of hell. How many people died on board, no one there can tell. We're bound for Argentina, boys, that far off distant land, where they say that the pampas grasses there grow tall at your command. And when we reach Buenos Aires town, how welcome there did meet our friends who came from Mullingar, came out to dance and feast. We drank and sang the songs of home, the songs of bittersweet, those songs in praise of our native shore we were lately forced to leave. For 10 years now I farmed this land, my hands worked to the bone. A Spanish wife and 2 young sons, a farm and a nice new home. And still I think of Mullingar when I lie in my bed at night. The cuckoo in the summertime and the corn crake in flight. For 20 years I've toiled this farm through sunshine, cold and rain. 1,000 head of cattle now roam this dusty plain. I'll never again see Mullingar, though it's with me every day. My boys have all grown up and gone, and now I'm here to stay. And now I've reached my 80th year, of the old crowd most are gone. And still we meet on Patrick's Day, the families who live on, the McCarthys and the Nelsons, the Caseys and Furlongs. Although we speak in Spanish now, in Gaelic we sing our song. Iragartha, Tormal Shatrecha, Irnhirvi, and Ishkamich Tacha, Quig Buenos Aires, Stacher Fall Sharon, Sunshine Mead, Gojo, Jonan, Okay.
Mary Noonan.
We do shuffle in and out pretty fast, though.
Thanks very much, Mary. That was lovely singing.
Check.
This time I'm going to have a go at one here. It's called Rosie is Going to School. And this song was written about my daughter Rosie when she was 3 years old. So it's been a while ago. So she's married now and all. So anyway, I was asked and given the task to take her to preschool one morning. A job I was not qualified for at all. So after numerous false starts, we eventually got on the way, and it worked out fine. So here's Rosie's Gone to School.
Lunchbox, my dear, let me tie up the bows in your hair. Your Barbie is under the chair. Rosie's going to school. Outside in the rain, tying the bows on your shoe. I'm already 10 minutes late. Rosie's going to school. My cousin Nene, when are we going to McNear? Don't tie up my car seat so tight. Rosie's going to school. Home weary and cold. How was your day at school? Michael and Kerry were bold. Rosie's going to school. Thank you. This time, Mikey's going to do the next song for us here. This one I wrote just a couple of years ago during the lockdown. And on our street in San Francisco, the Sheelys would know this now. We used to have kind of singing parties and musician parties. There was a lot of musicians living on our block for some weird reason. So we used to get together like every Saturday, even though we were kind of scattered 10 foot apart down along the street, and we'd be singing away and having a bit of crack.
trying to make the best of the lockdown. So this song is called Make It Back, and I'd like to dedicate this song to the memory of Mike Fogarty, who was a great friend of mine and a brilliant man from Ciaran. And I was thinking about him when we put this song together. So it's called Make It Back, and Mike is going to sing it.
I have a little more guitar right here. Thanks.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the rain fall softly on your shoulders. May you always make it back. You always make it back. May you always make it back. Thank you.
This next song is called Morning. And this song kind of came about, I was thinking a lot about when I come home here every year or every couple of years. The one thing that I kind of like a lot is up there around Derry where I'm hanging out. There's lots of foxes and birds and crows and jackdaws and everything. And it's the one thing that I really like about it when I get there. Just to hear the birds singing in the morning. And Jimmy O'Mara, my buddy, knows that because he listened to them for days. And anyway, this is called Morning. Don't take the good times for granted. Don't take the grease from the wheel. Don't spurn second chances when it all becomes real. Leave no stone yet unturned or something unsaid. For it's too late tomorrow for that voice in your head. See the deer and the bramble, the woods disappear, and the snow leaves the branches. Now the springtime is here. Hear the thrush softly singing as she flies from her nest, and the cry in the morning of the robin redbreast. Hear the sound of the cuckoo in the new mown field, and the smell of primroses and the sweet honeybee. It was down by the river where the blackberries grow, and 'tis well I remember with my new fishing pole. There's a sound in the morning that hums in the breeze and rings out a warning through the bushes and trees. See the fox quietly stirring as she rises her prey, and the cock loudly crowing to welcome the day. Don't take the good times for granted. Don't take the grace from the wheel. Don't spurn second chances when it all becomes real. Leave no stone yet unturned, or something unsaid. For it's too late tomorrow for that voice in your head. Mr. Ciaran Wilde on the saxophone, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. I'd introduce him. This next song, my good friend here, Kyle Alden, from California, is going to sing this one. And this one is probably the one that I should do myself because it's about down the street here. Georgia Street in Gort, in other words. And the reason, I was in Montreal there about 10 years ago, and I was hanging out with my guitar for a couple of days, had nothing better to do. There was a bit of skiing going on and I went into that. And I was thinking about when my mother used to take us to town here, to Gort, when we were about 5 or 6 years old. And it was like going to Las Vegas at Christmas time. There was lights everywhere. Sparkling lights, all sorts of toys in the shops, sweet cakes and ghetto cakes and everything like that. And then a few years later, well, it was quite a few years later, I ended up down here at the Tech, at St. Coleman's Vocational School. And I had a great time there, a great experience in it. The teachers were great in it, and it was just a good time period. And then at the end of it, I included my Aunt Chris O'Shaughnessy, even though she didn't live on Georgia Street. And but I put her in there anyway. So I'll just give you the words of the chorus, which says, Georgia Street, oh Georgia Street, that's the place we'd always meet, and you would give me kisses sweet down the lanes of Georgia Street. The second part of that, of course, you know very well I made up. That never happened.
Wait. You mean I've been singing this song for 10 years and there's some untruths in there, huh?
One or two.
Yeah. Poetic license.
So this is Mr. Kyle Alden, ladies and gentlemen, from outside San Francisco, San Anselmo, California. And it was he who produced my record. We used to meet at his house every Friday morning. We'd go mitching from work, and we'd go to recording at his recording studio. And he was a massive help to me to get this project started and finished. And well, the bees are back again. I have to.
It's the Be Loud Glade.
Yeah. Somebody's phone might be on or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, Georgia Street, and I actually ended up working down there many years later, Mr. Tom Mullins hired me to build the funeral parlour. I know he wouldn't want me to do any fancy woodwork now, so he said, we'll start with the funeral parlour. Nobody will know whether it's good or bad.
As I mentioned, I've been singing this song, which I love very much of all of Vincey's songs. But I've been singing this back in San Francisco for about 10 years or more. And so it's a great pleasure and great honor to be here in Gort, singing it just a few hundred yards from George's Street itself. So thanks. George's Street, that's the place we'd always meet. And you would give me kisses sweet down the lanes of George's Street. There were Tyson sweets in every shop, Perry chips and icy pops. Oh, my mother said my neck would break from staring at the gateau cakes. George's Street, oh, George's Street, that's the place we'd always meet. And you would give me kisses sweet down the lanes of George's Street. 4 long years I went to school, woodwork, tape and slide and rule. But mostly I just played the fool as I wasted my education. George's Street, oh George's Street, that's the place we'd always meet. And you would give me kisses sweet down the lanes of George's Street. Her 3 fine girls I loved to meet. But times have passed and life goes on. Those innocent days now long since gone. You can sing with me if you'd like. George's Street, oh George's Street, that's the place we'd always meet. And you would give me kisses sweet down the lanes of George's Street. George's Street, oh George's Street, that's the place we'd always meet. And you would give me kisses sweet down the lanes of George's Street, down the lanes of George's Street.
Thanks very much, Mr. Kyle Alden, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from California. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just saying to keep it off the stage.
Okay. This one, this one is called I Got to Dance with the Rosa Tralee. And this song, in 2014, I think, Rosie was selected to represent San Francisco in the Rosa Tralee competition, or whatever it is. Event, anyway. Not competition, but event. Be a better word for it. Anyway, so Kenny and myself were at a kind of a singer-songwriting camp in Oregon. And this is the song that I came up with. And I felt like that I should, you know, mark the event, the fact that she was in the Rosa Tralee, to write a song about it. But the key of it. So anyway, after I played the song for Rosie, and she says, Dad, she says, it's a lovely song, all right, but it's not about me, it's about yourself. And she was correct.
There's also no songs about me.
Yes. Getting a little worried about that, Mike. No. Even your mother gets mentioned.
Yeah. The damn cuckoo gets mentioned about 6 or 7 times.
I'd take him up about that if I were you, Mike.
Oh, the room is all empty. The band has gone home. No use complaining, the last bus is gone. Ah, but I'm in heaven. The reason, you see, I got to dance with the Rose of Tralee. Foxtrots and waltzes, I held her hand, bouncing around till no longer could stand. For I know that her beauty is for all there to see. I get to dance with the Rose of Tralee. Oh, the morning comes early, no one's around. The dogs are all silent, the mice make no sound. Ah, but I'm as happy can be. I got to dance with Foxtrots and waltzes, I held her hand, round and around till no longer could stand. For I know that her beauty is for all there to see. I got to dance with the Rose of Tralee. A Vauxhall pulls over, I jump on in, we talk of the weather and places we've been. When I tell him my story, he's wishing like me, he got to dance with the Rose of Tralee. Foxtrots and waltzes, I held her hand, round and around till no longer could stand. For I know that her beauty is for all there to see. I got to dance with the Rose of Tralee. Oh, now that I'm sleeping at home in my bed, the 6 o'clock news, the Angelus bell. Ah, but I am dreaming of a day soon to be, when I'll walk up the aisle with the Rose of Tralee. Foxtrots and waltzes, I held her hand, round and around till no longer could stand. For I know that her beauty is for all there to see. I got to dance with the Rose of Tralee. Hold on.
She was lovely and fair, like the rose of the summer. It was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes ever dawning that made me love Mary, the rose of Tralee. Much tough in waltzes I held her hand, round and around till no longer could stand. For I know that her beauty is for all there to see. I got to dance with the rose of Tralee. That's right, yeah. We're coming to the last one. And we'd like to thank everybody here for coming out tonight. Great turnout. Very happy to see it. But I'd also like to thank Caroline and the staff here at the Lady Gregory. The amazing Matt Purcell on sound, ladies and gentlemen. The best in the business. Paddy Mulcahy and Linka Ferry on the lighting here behind us. And our assistants, Susan Fogarty, Kevin Keehan, Vicky Linsky and Bernie Keehan. And on promotion, Mary Noonan, who promoted it through the roof. We have to give her that. And Bridget Fogarty too. The film crew that you see going around there tonight are called Eden Stone Productions. Yeah. And there's no need to introduce the MC, Joe Keehan. You all know him. So let me introduce the band to you now as well. On the drums from Dublin town, Mr. Wayne P Sheehy, ladies and gentlemen. Another dub on the keyboards, Mr. Eamonn Flynn, ladies and gentlemen. From Kinvara, Mr. Paul O'Driscoll on the bass. And from the People's Republic of Cork, Miss Eileen Healy, ladies and gentlemen. On the mando back there and harmonica, many tunes I've played with this man. He's from Beleek in the County Fermanagh, Mr. Kenny Somerville, ladies and gentlemen. He just flew in tonight, just arrived right before the show in from the plane. From Oakland, California, Mr. Dave Cory. And he has come to see the Mayo footballers playing more often than anyone ever. And they lost every time. From the County Mayo, Mr. Cormac Gannon, ladies and gentlemen. And who played the first set before we come on. From Parkbridge in the County Wicklow, brilliant concertina player, Mr. Paddy Egan, ladies and gentlemen. For many years now, a resident of Scariff, County Clare, but came from the parish of Beha. The fiddler tonight, Mr. John Keehan, ladies and gentlemen. And on the saxophone, the third dub on the stage tonight, a brilliant sax player who is now living up in Carrick-on-Shannon. Why he moved there, we did not ask.
but he's a great sax player, Mr. Ciaran Wilde, ladies and gentlemen. And the man who produced the record, who you just heard singing, from San Anselmo, California. Great producer, great musician, plays many instruments, and great friend of mine as well. Mr. Kyle Alden, ladies and gentlemen. Also from the parish of Bah, from Foxtel Hill, but now many years a resident of Cairn, County Clare. Mary Noonan, ladies and gentlemen. And last but not least, long-time residents of our house in San Francisco, but now they moved out. Rosie Keehan on vocals, ladies and gentlemen. And Mike Keehan on guitar and vocals. And we'd like to dedicate this show to a friend of ours called John Caulfield, who passed away there at the weekend a couple of days ago. He was a great musician from Dundalk. We played hundreds of gigs with him. And Brendan Harty down there did also. And probably many more musicians here as well. Fergus, of course. Fergus Feely would have too. So we were very sorry. He got a bad stroke and he didn't really come out of it. So he passed away a few days ago. And there's no better way to remember him than to play some music and songs for him. So that's dedicated tonight to Mr. Jenny Caulfield. So we're going to finish off with this song. And after a few years ago there, I had a few fairly serious medical issues. I went very close to kicking the bucket, but thanks be to God I didn't, and I was able to eventually get to the point where I'd be here tonight. But anyway, this song is kind of about, you know, life is short, do what you want to do. You know, I wanted to do this performance and make this record. You know, things can go by a bit faster than you think. And anyway, this one is called Pride Comes Before the Fall. Okay, let's try that again. Pride comes before the fall, just when you thought you had it all, just when you thought you were invincible, just when you thought there was nothing you could lose. Now you can pin and tie your shoes. Everything in life's a chance. We walk the walk to a merry dance. The road is long with many's the turn. That bridge we crossed, now left to burn. Oh, they say the truth will set you free. Ah, but sometimes it's just misery. Doesn't matter who's right or wrong, who said what or who was strong. Thunder comes before the rain, like arrogance before the pain. You're oblivious to the heart, blinded by the jester's charm. A calm comes before the storm, like the darkness before the dawn. You grab the nettle and the briar, hold your hand to a roasting fire. Your train just left the station, and you wonder why there's no one waiting. Night comes before the fall, just when you thought you had it all. Night comes before the fall, just when you thought you had it all. Just when you thought you were invincible. Just when you thought there was nothing you could lose. Now you can't bend and tie your shoes. Thank you and good night. Thank you very much. Thank you. My camera. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we'll do one or two more. So now that you're clapping. Yeah, but don't leave the stage because we have to go back. Yeah, we're going to do one more or two, maybe. So hang on a sec. Before you go, yeah, we'll do. And we're going to get everybody up to do the last one. Everyone that's here. Okay, Mike says forget about the first one. Just let's do that one. All right, here we go. Yeah, we're just going to do it. We're going to finish with the song that we started with tonight about the classic ballroom up the road.
Let's do it again.
It's long gone, but not forgotten by many of us here tonight. And so we're just going to get everybody up, everybody in this one. We'll have a few.
He's over there.
All right. Okay. Well, if you want to sing along with this one, I know it's kind of going a bit fast, but thinking of the times I spent with you, waltzing around the classic 2x2. Big Tom up on stage, jive all the rage, fitting in for me. This is my problem. It was very hard to do.
classic to my turn. They come up on stage and jive all the way. Everything for me was hard. Thinking of the time I spent with you, waltzing round the classic to my turn. They come up on stage and jive all the way. Everything for me was summer. And of the time I spent with you, waltzing around the classic to my turn. They come up on stage and jive all the way. Everything for me was over. The last time. And of the time I spent with you, waltzing around the classic to my turn. They come up on stage and jive all the way. Everything for me was over.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Cheers.